We've all heard the stories, right? Jinn and Ins. One are supernatural beings of fire, the others are humans, made of clay. But what if that whole story is built on a fundamental misunderstanding? In this explainer, we're diving deep into the language itself to uncover a story that might be hiding in plain sight. Okay, so this is the view most of us know. Jinn are invisible, fiery beings living in some parallel dimension. And Ins? Well, that's us. Physical people made of clay living right here on Earth. Two completely different species. Simple enough, right? But this is where our investigation really kicks off. What if this was never about two separate species at all? What if the language is pointing to something way more personal, something about how our own minds work? To figure that out, we have to go back to the source code of the words themselves. So, our first major clue is hiding right there in the ancient Semitic roots of the words Jinn and Ins. The language itself is holding the key. Check this out. The root JNN is all about one thing: concealment. A Jannah, or garden, is a place concealed by leaves and branches. A Janeen, a fetus, is concealed in the womb. Even Junoon, or madness, is when a person's reason is concealed. The theme is always about what's hidden, what's covered up, what we can't immediately see. Now, on the flip side, you have the root for ins, INS. This means the complete opposite. It's all about perception, about familiarity, about sensing something. It's everything that's out in the open, everything we can see and are familiar with. So you see what's happening here. The language isn't contrasting two species. It's setting up this powerful fundamental opposition of concepts: what is concealed versus what is perceived, the hidden versus the manifest. Okay, so let's take that clue and move on to the next piece of the puzzle. If these words represent opposing ideas, how are they actually used in the Quranic text? Is there a pattern we can follow? Take a look at this. It talks about enemies from a single combined group, the Jinn and the Ins. They aren't treated like two separate teams. They're presented as one collective. And we see it happen again right here. They're addressed together as a single assembly. This pattern of pairing them up as this unified whole is incredibly consistent. It happens all over the text. This one really drives the point home. They are given the exact same purpose. Not a different mission for each, but one single objective for the combined unit of the Jinn and the Ins. This consistent pairing isn't just a stylistic choice. It's leading us somewhere. It's pointing directly to one pivotal piece of evidence, a single verse that throws a real wrench in the works for the traditional view. Okay, pay very close attention to the end of this sentence. The text is talking to that single, combined assembly of Jinn and Ins, and it asks if messengers came to them from among you. That little phrase, from among you, is just one word in Arabic, minkum. And it's super important. It's plural and it's inclusive. It means the messengers came from within, the entire group being addressed, from within both the Jinn and the Ins. And right there, we have a huge logical puzzle. I mean, if Jinn are invisible spirits and Ins are humans, how could messengers come from among both of them? The text never talks about Jinn prophets. But this puzzle, it's not a mistake. It's actually the key that unlocks this whole thing. So if Jinn and Ins aren't different species, what are they? Well, all the clues we've uncovered, the linguistics, the textual patterns, they all point inward. They point towards a psychological model of a single being: you. This table really brings it all together. Inch, from the root word for perception, represents your conscious self, everything you're aware of. Jinn, from the root for concealment, represents your subconscious forces, the hidden motivations, the drives, all the stuff operating just beneath the surface of your awareness. And this totally reframes that whole fire and clay creation story. Maybe it's not about literal biology. Maybe clay is a metaphor for the stable, formed, tangible part of our nature, our conscious self. And fire? Fire is a metaphor for the dynamic, energetic, hidden forces within us, our subconscious drives. We are made of both. So what? Right? Why does this shift from mythology to psychology actually matter? Well, the practical implications of reading the text this way are absolutely profound. All of a sudden, those warnings about the shayateen, or the deviating forces of Jinn and Ins, become a practical roadmap for your life. The deviating forces of the Ins are those external, visible influences, things like peer pressure or harmful ideologies, But the deviating forces of the jinn, those are the internal ones, your subconscious impulses, your own capacity for denial, that negative self-talk that holds you back. And this is the real takeaway. The traditional reading gives us a world of external supernatural beings to be afraid of. But this functional reading, based on the language of the text itself, gives us a psychological map of our own inner world. It urges us to find balance and coherence between what we consciously know and what we subconsciously feel. Which leaves us with a final question to chew on. Is this text primarily a book of myths about external spirits and unseen dimensions? Or could it be something far more immediate and practical? A stunningly precise map of the human mind, given to us so we can better navigate the landscape within ourselves.